Welcome to a very special edition of TBBAT's Coffee Break with Drake. If you've never seen this before, this is where we take a break from going around the world, checking out amazing locations and delicious foods, and we have hopefully a nice cup of coffee. But we're going to switch it up a little bit this time and do the first ever Battle of the Brews. And what is the Battle of the Brews? Well, it's where we choose which coffee we like the best. And I felt it might be a little fun to do a interesting test. Now, what I'm going to do is battle again IHOP versus Black Rifle Coffee Company. Now, why did I choose that? Well, you're going to have to stick around to find out, but I guarantee you the results will be very interesting. One of the things that I've always been curious about is the quality of coffee and price. How does price affect the quality? If you go to the store and spend, let's just say, $6 on a bag of coffee, 12 ounces, and then you have one over here that costs $12 for the same amount, what's the difference? Is it actually tasteable? And I thought that'd be an interesting test. So we're doing a generic, or in this case, IHOP versus a well-known coffee, Black Rifle. This is both their medium medium roasts, excuse me, and it's their signature blends. Black Rifle Coffee Company on this hand is their Just Black. It's their signature. And I do have a coffee review up for this one if you want to check it out. In IHOP, this is their medium roast signature blend, and I'm assuming this is what you get when you go into the restaurant. Now, I have not done a review on IHOP on its own yet, but we will get one up soon, and you can check that out. The bottom line is coffees can be pretty expensive, and one of the things I noticed is that sometimes I'll drink a coffee I spent like a lot of money on, or a relatively expensive amount, and it just tastes like regular coffee, like nothing special. Now, to be completely fair and keep this completely blind, I have labeled these, covered the labels, and I'm going to mix them up, close my eyes, and mix these bad boys up. So I have no idea which one is which. All right, now that these are appropriately mixed up, I'm going to take the labels off, and I'm going to put them on their cups that they're going to be brewed in, and we'll keep this fair. All right, everything's loaded up and ready to go. I have no idea which one is which. We're going to basically battle these out and see whether the price is worth it. We'll go into price and all that stuff in just a sec. We're going to start these bad boys up. Now, this is the reason why I bought two brewers, is I would like to do battles. So this is the first, and I will have more coming up. To start with, I think I'll probably do generic versus name brand and see how that goes, to see if the price is worth paying. Is it justified? So I have reviewed, like I mentioned, Black Rifle's Just Black Coffee. My problem with Black Rifle, well, they're basically $10 to $12 a bag. We're going to call it $12 a bag if you go to like Walmart, for example, to pick these up. Is it worth that when you can buy what might be the exact same thing for $6, or basically half the price? I find that very interesting. Now, like I said, I've tried this before. I'm not a big fan of Black Rifle. I feel like their coffee is very generic, that it's diner quality at best, and it's not necessarily worth the money. IHOP is basically diner coffee, and if you're going to spend $6 on a bag of coffee, can you tell the difference? So I have to say I really enjoy IHOP's packaging. I hope the coffee's good, because, you know, less money you're spending on coffee, the better. It's got a little smiley guy. It's blue. It's fun. Now, one of the problems I have with Black Rifle and a lot of these companies is that it just says like 100% coffee. It doesn't even say what kind of beans they are, Robusto, Arabica. There's no information on it at all. What does that mean? I don't know. For the quality and stuff like that, I just don't know. But IHOP, so let's take a look at this. Right off the bat, it says 100% Arabica. And that's kind of cool. It says, since 1958, IHOP has been the place where people connect over our world-famous pancakes, coffee, and so much more. No matter what menu items they order, there is one ingredient that's always constant: a smile. So basically, they're saying, well, you can drink this at home. They have a bunch of different flavors, which I'm looking forward to checking out and reviewing. So let's see how it goes. I'm not going to bother with the pricing, since obviously this is not about the, I'm not going to bother with getting the actual breakdown of how much it is per ounce for each one, because that's not what we're doing here. The bottom line is it worth getting the expensive version when the half price or the generic version might be just as good? Now it's brewing now. I will say this, these do not represent the necessarily which coffees are in where. These do not smell like good coffees, either one of them. I'm not a big fan of the smells, which can indicate not the best type of coffee flavors going on. They have finished their brew cycles. Let's go over to this first one over here. And we will see. Not really getting any smells. No notes, nothing. It's very plain. So if I was to make my initial guess, just based on having had Black Rifle before, I'm thinking this is probably Black Rifle, based on the smell. Okay, this is the second one here. So again, no smells, no notes of anything. These are very bland scents, and I will guess that this is the IHOP. Now, one interesting note is that there is a rim of almost what looks like hot cocoa right around this, where there is none on this. This seems almost a little waterier, and this is a little thicker. I'm not going to be able to show that. Well, maybe you can see it. But you see that there's a brown rim around the coffee here, and there's none on this. So again, based on just guessing, I'm still thinking this is Black Rifle. That might mean it's like a higher quality of coffee. It also might not. I'm just guessing. There's nothing on it. So that being said, let's see how these taste. We're going to try this one first. Okay, I'm not a big fan, so that still could be either one. There is it's just plain. The one thing I will notice about this is there is a buttery coating on the tongue afterwards. So again, my thoughts still are that this is Black Rifle because it has that buttery coating. In my experience so far, that is an indication of like a higher quality coffee. Could be wrong. Okay. No clue. Not a fan still. It's just a regular cup of coffee, diner quality. Now let's go into this one here. All right, my guess is still this is IHOP, but we will find out. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with this coffee. It is fine. I'm gonna guess this is IHOP. It is definitely a, I want to say a more watered down version. So yeah, there it is right there. Now let's find out if I'm right. I'm thinking this is Black Rifle. Yep. All right, so this is Black Rifle. I was right. And this is the IHOP. Now, that makes sense. Well, you don't need to see it. This is IHOP. So that makes sense. What does that mean? Well, that means that for half the price, you can get a regular coffee and be fine with it. It's nothing special. It's just, again, diner coffee. If that's what they serve at IHOP, then that makes sense. Now, this one here, it's, again, nothing special going on. However, it's definitely a higher quality, and there is that buttery tone that you get on your tongue afterwards, indicative of a higher quality coffee, in my opinion. So, my review is Black Rifle is better than IHOP. That should come as no surprise, and I'm very glad that is the case, money-wise. A little disappointed that IHOP didn't give me a little surprise there, but that's okay. So is it worth it? Is it worth spending twice as much money on this coffee? This is an easy one to answer. If you are just drinking coffee just for the caffeine and you don't care about the flavor, I know a lot of people like that, then just get IHOP. It's really not that much different, and you're going to get your caffeine fix. If you actually want to get a little bit more taste out of it and get that buttery taste on the tongue, you're going to go with the Black Rifle. That's all there is. There really is nothing else, in my opinion, flavor-wise different. They're very standard coffees. Black Rifle, there's nothing outstanding about it. But there's really nothing outstanding about the IHOP. If I was to rate these, I would say 5 with the IHOP, as it's just a standard coffee, and I'd go with 6 Black Rifle because it's standard coffee with a little bit of a buttery aftertaste. That's all there is. This is the first Battle of the Brews. I have more coming up, and thanks for checking me out. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next time. Welcome to a very special edition of TBBAT's Coffee Break with Drake. It is the first ever Battle of the Brews. That's right. And who did I choose for the Battle of the Brews?